Welcome to Battle of the Beer, where our logic is made up and our thoughts really don't matter. This episode is dessert beer. Lucas, what is dessert beer, you might ask? And
what is dessert beer?
Thank you, sir. In our specific interpretation of dessert beer, we thought, what would be a beer we would want to have instead of a dessert? It could be something fruity, it could be something sweet. In our specific reasoning, we chose a beer that had inspirations from an actual dessert, be it something peanut butter and chocolatey, or maybe something that's like a pie,
Right.
It should be delicious, it should be great. So why don't we just find out what Lucas and I brought to share on this week's episode. Lucas, what dessert did you bring?
Well, the dessert I brought is in the form of a beer, and it is by Clown Shoes. It's called Pecan Pie Porter. Pecan? I don't know. The jury's out on how exactly you say it, but either
like
way.
A chicken.
Now, I'm looking forward to this one because I did a little bit of research. I got a sweet tooth, you know that. So this category was really, something that I was looking forward to. But a lot of the time, and I'm pretty familiar, I'm a stout guy, so a lot of the time with dessert beers, or at least, the things that you would consider to be a dessert beer, like the flavors like chocolate and stuff like that, you get in stouts. You get in really heavy type of beers. So when I heard porter, that's kind of in between. That's not quite stout territory. So I was pretty interested. I thought, okay, maybe this won't be, super heavy, but still be sweet. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. We'll see.
I like your logic.
It did pour quite dark, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's pour dark, but you'll get that with the porter. We should have a less of a, more of a lighter body than a stout by that regard. But I don't know. What are you getting?
Yeah, I kind of was expecting at least some kind of nuttiness from it. It just says malt beverage brewed with natural flavor, so it doesn't really specify exactly what we're supposed to be tasting. I kind of
get like a little bit of a caramely taste.
Yeah,
a little bit.
A really faint caramely taste. There's oddly, like with a stout, you kind of almost naturally get that like chocolatey flavor, even if they don't add it into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not really, surprisingly, not picking up on any of that. It's just kind of a
lightly bitter, a little bit of caramel.
Yeah, definitely some caramel, but not nearly as sweet as I was kind of thinking. So, well, let's try what you brought for consumption. Well, Jason, I'm really excited for what you brought because it is
Nutter Your Business Peanut Butter Stout. It's from Grand Armory Brewing out of Grand Haven, Michigan. I really tried, folks, to break the Michigan mold, but when I saw this one, I couldn't pass it up, and this one you will not find anywhere outside the local area because Grand Armory is a newer brewery, and they've just recently actually expanded into canning, so I don't think very many of their beers at all make it out of Grand Haven, let alone Michigan. So
okay, right off the bat, one huge difference between these two beers, I can smell just like I can smell like a dessert smell, whereas it just doesn't smell like just beer. It smells like dessert, and that gets me really excited because
you can. It reminds me of like a wafer cookie.
Oh yeah,
You get that like a peanut butter wafer.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells great. It's same similar color, similar head. I'd say this appears to have less carbonation than what the Clown Shoes did, but
wow. That is good. It's funny that you brought up that wafer because that's almost exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah,
it must be where they got the name from because
like a Nutter Butter, like the the cookie.
It really tastes like you just crushed up a Nutter Butter into chocolate milk. It's got a sweetness, but it's not overpowering. It's almost like a taste flavor, but it's not like just sugar in your mouth. And I think that lends a little bit to some drinkability.
Yeah, it's like a very light body, lower carbonation, mouthfeel. I don't know. I think it's got a good mouthfeel, but I love that flavor. It's just subtly sweet on the front, and then you really get the peanut butter taste really stays with you as you enjoy it.
And it's only 5% ABV, so for a stout, you know, you could put a couple of these away and not feel so bad.
All right, before we selfishly just drink this all right now, let's take a break, let's score these up, and we'll give our overview thoughts and have our winner.
All right, well, we've scored these beers, and Jason, why don't you tell me your impressions on, let's start with the Clown Shoes Pecan Porter Pie Porter.
Oh boy. You know, as a whole, a middle of the road beer for me. There wasn't anything that really stood out one way or the other. And especially if I'm looking at this as a dessert beer, my scores were probably a little more harsher than what they would normally would have been. I mean, really, I kind of scored this really middle of the road across the board, but since I was going in with a preconceived idea of what I wanted the beer to taste like, again, I was a little harsh on it. I think I gave it, you know, ended up with a 2.5 on a couple of categories. So,
oh wow.
So I mean, it just wasn't what I was hoping at all, and my score reflect that. I gave it a total score of a 2.75.
2.75 for the overall. Yeah, I completely and utterly agree. I was so biased about how I was going to feel about this beer when I opened it, and I think that, I don't know if it's a failure of brewing or a failure of marketing the way that they've marketed. Like, when you call it a dessert, there's an expectation there.
Well, especially you're calling it like a pie.
Yeah, I want to think I'm taking a bite of a pie. That is completely missing. So I am in the exact same boat because of that. I was very harsh on this beer as well. So across the board, the only thing that really stood above was like the mouthfeel. It's still good. It's still a good stout or a good porter.
Yeah.
It's just not a good dessert beer, and that's what we're here for.
Right.
So because of that, I gave it a 2.75, which I think is the same as yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for the sake of the video, it's best that we drink this one first. I mean,
yeah, for sure, because this was a total letdown. All right, well, I mean, it's no surprise. Let's just move on to the Nutter, because we're just gonna pour over it like, you know, two schoolboys who are in love.
Yes. Clearly, this is going to be our winner today. I mean, the appearance, like not so much the appearance, but that aroma. Especially, you immediately got that smell of that peanut butter, which elevated that score for me. I mean, the high marks for me were taste, the aroma, and the overall satisfaction. This beer got a 4 for me, which I'm pretty critical on stuff. I'm really hesitant unless a beer really grabs
You don't really
me.
have a big sweet tooth either.
No, not so much, but I just, you know, it definitely nails what it claims it is. You know, it's a great, this is a great dessert beer. It really captures that taste of in this case, a Nutter Butter, you know.
Yeah. So what's your overall?
4.
A 4? Yeah. Well, yeah, this got high marks across the board for me. The highest being taste, because I was just blown away. That's exactly what I want out of anything with the label, or with peanut butter on the label. Like, no joke here. So 4.5 overall for me, making the Nutter Butter, or the might as well be the Nutter Butter, but Nutter Your Business, the winner. All right, well, there you have it. The Nutter Your Business was our business because it's the winner for this episode. Check us out for our next release, which is going to be commemorating the release of Rogue One, the movie. And we're going to do some
Star
Rogue
Wars.
We both like Star Wars. So be on the lookout for that.
And hey, you know, dessert beer. Let us know if you have a dessert beer that you liked, or maybe if you've had these and you disagree with our thoughts. We'd love to hear about it in the comments. And more importantly, have a safe, happy, and wonderful American Thanksgiving, and feel free to check out our channel and everything else we do at Battle of the Beer. We will see you on the next episode.